All right, let's just get this out of the way. If you've been hearing that AI agents are going to make all your RPA bots obsolete overnight, well, you've been listening to the hype. But, and this is a big but, if you're still just cranking out those old, rigid scripts that shatter the moment a button moves, then yeah, your career might actually be on the line. So let's talk about what's really happening, this hybrid blueprint that's actually getting the job done. I know what you're thinking. That question sounds completely insane, right? We're constantly bombarded with news about these super powerful AI agents that can reason and strategize. But here's the twist. What if I told you that for a whole bunch of everyday business tasks, these shiny new agents are, well, slower and less reliable than the good old bots we've been using for years? It's a total paradox, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. So, you've got the hype machine working overtime, shouting from the rooftops that AI agents are the big bad wolf coming to blow the house down on RPA. But the reality? What's actually being built in the real world? It's so much smarter than that. It's not about replacing the bots, it's about giving them a brain. Think of it this way: the future isn't a replacement, it's a partnership. Okay, so to really get why this hybrid approach is a game changer, we have to take a step back. Let's look at why old school automation is kind of hitting its limits. Why are these rule-based bots starting to fall behind? And here it is, the big one. A whopping 80%, 80 of all the data flowing through a company is unstructured. We're talking about everything inside emails, PDFs, invoices, those endless customer support chats. It's all just messy human stuff. And your traditional RPA bot, it's a genius with a clean spreadsheet, for sure. But throw this kind of chaos at it, it just doesn't know what to do. So this whole unstructured data mess forced automation to evolve. It's a pretty clear progression, really, in three main stages. It's super helpful to understand these steps to see where we're going. We started with RPA, moved on to IPA, and now we're at this new frontier, Agentic Process Automation, or APA for short. All right, phase one. RPA. The easiest way to think about these guys is as the digital hands of your team. You write a super specific script, click this button, copy that field, paste it over here, and they'll do it flawlessly, over and over and over. They're amazing at doing, but they have zero ability to think. Then came phase two, IPA, Intelligent Process Automation. This is where our hands got an upgrade. Now they could borrow a little piece of a brain. So the RPA bot is still chugging along, doing its repetitive clicking and copying, but when it hits something tricky, like an invoice, it can call out to a specialized AI model that only knows how to read invoices. It's a big improvement for sure, but it's still just a simple bot using a single specialized tool. And that brings us right up to today with APA. Now, this isn't just an upgrade, it's a completely different way of thinking. Here, a big large language model, an LLM, acts as the central brain. You don't give it a script anymore, you give it a goal. Something like, hey, process all the new invoices from our vendors. And the LLM figures it out. It reasons, it plans, and it orchestrates all the tools it has. And guess what? One of its most important tools is your trusty old RPA bot. Okay, this is where things get really interesting, because common sense would tell you that this new superbrain should be better at everything, right? Well, not so fast. The actual data tells a much, much different story. And here's the secret, the thing that the big players have figured out. When it comes to simple, stable, totally predictable work, I'm talking about stuff like logging into a legacy system and just pounding in data. That AI agent's biggest strength, its ability to think, actually becomes a weakness. All that reasoning adds time, it adds latency, it makes it slower and, believe it or not, less reliable. Meanwhile, a simple RPA script, it just executes, bam, flawlessly, every single time. Just look at this breakdown, it spells it out perfectly. On one side, you've got RPA bots. For speed and reliability on these boring, stable tasks, they're off the charts, super high. But then you look at agentic AI for the same tasks, and it's slower and less reliable. But, and here's the kicker, look at the other side of the coin. Development time, it's slashed with AI. And adaptability, being able to handle changes, AI is super flexible, where RPA is famously fragile. You see, they're not competitors. They're like puzzle pieces that fit together perfectly. So the answer isn't one or the other. That's the old way of thinking. The solution, the best solution, is a hybrid architecture. It's simple, really. You let the AI be the brain. Let it do the heavy lifting of reasoning, understanding messy data, and figuring out the plan. Then, for the simple repetitive execution steps, it hands the job off to a super fast, super reliable RPA bot. It's the brains and the brawn working in perfect harmony. Of course, giving an AI the keys to the kingdom like that, it comes with some pretty serious risks. You can't just let it run wild. We've all seen the headlines about AI hallucinations and costly mistakes. This whole black box problem, where you don't really know why the AI did what it did, is a massive headache for any serious business. And that's why you need guardrails. The solution is something called a human-in-the-loop system, or HITL. The idea is brilliant. Let the AI agent automate, say 95% of the easy, routine stuff. But the second it runs into something weird, a high-risk situation, or an edge case it's not sure about, bam, it stops and flags it for a human to review and approve. This is how you prevent those disasters. It's how you build a system you can actually trust. So let's bring this back to you. What does all of this actually mean for the folks who build and manage automations? Well, it means your job is about to change. Big time. This right here, this is the most critical mindset shift you can make. Your value isn't going to come from being a script executor anymore, just mindlessly coding step-by-step instructions. No, you need to become an architect of intelligent, flexible systems that cleverly combine the power of AI with the speed of automation. So, practically speaking, what does that even mean? It means your new job is to build a toolbox, a really, really good toolbox. You're going to create a set of super reliable, reusable automations and turn them into secure APIs that an AI can call. Think about it. That bulletproof bot you built to talk to that ancient mainframe system? That's now a power tool. That super optimized data entry process? Another tool in the box. The AI agent is the master craftsman, and you're the one building its high-quality tools. You build them, the AI uses them to create something amazing. So if you want to make sure you're not just surviving this shift, but actually thriving in it, here are the 3 things to focus on, starting today. First, get really, really good at API design. That's non-negotiable. Second, you've got to learn about context grounding, especially a technique called RAG. That's basically how you teach the AI about your specific business, so it doesn't just hallucinate answers. And third, become a master at building those human-in-the-loop workflows we just talked about. Safety and reliability are everything. So when you boil it all down, the future of automation isn't some